Let's play some chess. So we're gonna go for the immediate big center. Let's play a few games, but we are playing a little bit lower rated, so I do want to explain some tactics. And immediately he's gonna play there. I don't really get that move. We're gonna stop the knight from developing out, and the bishop will come out with ease, and we will begin to capture the center. Pretty simple stuff. He's gonna take a while, but we'll come here and we'll castle out of the center. He's going to play here. We're simply going to bring the bishop back. He might be met with here, but we have a4 immediately beginning to open up the king. And if there, we can also take two, but I think that that might be a little bit too quick. We have there, we're going to play here. And if he takes, we're going to immediately open up the lines for his king. Now, I think his best move here would be to castle. But immediately I'm going to start to pile on the pressure onto his king. And this should not be very good for him. So we'll see what the next move is. So after queen e2, I mean, this pawn is going to be taken. If not, then we'll add another bishop. All of this bishop doesn't really do much. We can just take this pawn. And this is a really crucial pawn to take. The reason being that taking this pawn will dismantle this entire pawn structure. And if he doesn't trade, I think his best case actually might not be to trade here. But of course, I'm not too sure. And he's going to take, and we'll take. Now we've already infiltrated on this rank. This piece is pinned, so technically I can bring this piece out and takes, and if takes, then we take. And he's going to move, and now he's attacking this piece. That's very simple. We'll hit this piece, and after we take here, this should be a free piece. So we will take here, and if takes, we will take here. Very nice. We'll take here, and he will likely take here. And now we have to be very careful. I think I'm going to sack this piece. Because takes, we're going to sacrifice. We're going to take, because after takes, we can take the knight. And this is just a winning endgame, of course. The issue is I was going to get trapped on the next move. And I guess I could have won a pawn or two, but I think I'd rather not. Let's try to defend this pawn, or maybe have a counterattack. And I think I'm going to play here. If he takes, and I have check and wins this pawn. There we go. We have check. Or actually, it doesn't win the pawn, but maybe there's some sequence that will allow me to win. I guess we can take here. Got to be a little bit careful. Got to look out for those diagonals. But again, the knight covers the important squares. And now he's going to try to checkmate me here. Now I think it's a little bit ambitious. So what I will do is I will create an escape square. And he cannot infiltrate on the 7th rank because my knight covers d2. And of course, I'm threatening a bunch of different checks as well. So we're threatening here. And if there, then we have there. And that should just win us a piece. But then he has rook there. And it gets a little bit tricky, but I think this is the right move. Ooh, that's a good move too. I guess we'll have to come this way, hitting this pawn here. And closer. Now, that's just a free pawn, so we will take and take. And now that's under fire. He's going to give us a check and go there. Very, very logical, but I will take here, defending this pawn. And he will likely come there. That's also a move too. We're going to play here. And I guess we could play trades and trades. I think this is very important, a very crucial step, and we'll begin to push this pawn. Okay, I think the best move is not to take, but maybe takes. Just get one pawn off the board, and we will begin to push and push. There we go. Although we promote at the same time, there is definitely a way to just skewer him. Check. Check. If not, I'm just going to offer the trade. We are up 3 pawns. We have check. 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 And if there... How do we win? Okay, check. Let's switch here. Check here. There. It's a little bit tricky, but check maybe? Check. Where's the mate? I don't see the mate. What about this check? Check here. Check here. I just want to trade off the pieces, but it'd be a little bit difficult to do so. We're going to give him a tempo here. Back there. I guess this is our only move. And we'll begin to run out. But and all our pieces just defend each other wonderfully, so there's nothing I really need to worry about, of course. Now there are no more checks, and now we will force the trade. There we go. We'll put on push here, and he's going to come this way. I'm going to come here. He's going to come this way. We're going to come here. And we're going to come here. And we're going to push here, push here, push here, push. So there we go. And now we'll begin to push here, here, there. And that is checkmate. All right, next game. Pretty easy stuff. Again, I am playing a little bit lower rated to explain some tactics. E4, we're going to go Scandinavian. Of course, I like to go Sicilian as well, but this is definitely the better opening. The reason I bring my knight out first is because if queen takes, the knight comes out, and I'll have to bring my queen back. He will get tempo. Sometimes there's lines where we could go queen a5, but immediately we are piling on the pressure we have here. We can actually take, because if takes, we take, but it takes, queen takes, and takes, and we take. So I guess we can still take here, which is a valid move. A little bit scared about there, but we will castle and immediately put a lot of pressure onto this pawn. Of course, e5 is also a move too, but I would have to castle first before that becomes any real threat. So now he's going to go there, which is very logical. We will now castle, adding another a piece of attack, and usually they'll bring their bishop out here. And they'll come there. I'm going to play here, takes, checks, rook takes, checks, takes. It works with a very specific sequence, but it will be a huge trading. And if he takes, then we'll go bishop there. If not, then we'll just take, or we can push too, which will win a pawn at least, because there, there. And actually, it will be a fork at the end of the maneuver. So what I calculated was takes. Can we give him a check too? No, we take. And now we take here, immediately adding another line of pressure. Actually, this is not what I saw. What I saw was first we take the knight and then take the pawn, but I now realize that it's pinned. So trade and trade does not seem terrible. He's going to take with a pawn, which is honestly understandable. I'm going to play here so we can play here. But it's not very obvious as well. And now that was a mistake because we get the bishop out with something called a tempo. We're going to pin the bishop and play like here. And infiltrating on that rank is going to be very, very bad. Before we do so, let's play here not to play hope chess. And we'll come back this way. Oh, that's a great move too. I'm going to play here and here. A little bit ambitious, but I think it'll work. I also completely forgot he could take there, but we have here. Kick the bishop out. If back, we have the same idea. He's going to go there. Takes. And we're playing some really solid chess. And we'll come there. Gotta be a little bit careful of any ideas, so we'll throw in here. I think he will push. And that is just a very interesting pawn cocoon. I guess we can begin to run this way. And this bishop is essentially useless. I mean, like, I get that he has like a cocoon going, but I mean, what does it even do? Now, we got to be a little bit careful here because I don't want to get discovered and lose my bishop. But I guess I have here, right? If takes, I just take with the bishop. Oh, wait, takes he has there. I guess we'll have to wedge here and take here. Because we did not want to get forked, of course. Fine, let's take and take. And I would argue this may be a winning endgame. I'm not too sure. But I think my endgame skills are better. His pawns are doubled, and we are a little bit closer than his king. So he's going to come there, which is great. We'll take. And we'll begin to run our king this way. Of course, our pawns cover this very far gone pawn as well. He's going to come closer. I can kick, but I think what the right move is actually going to be here, reserving a tempo. And if not, I guess I could go the other way too, which doesn't seem too bad here. And we'll come back, maybe pawn push as well. Seems very logical. And he's going to immediately break through. If I take and he takes, do I have there and then there? I'm going to close the position. You know, I don't know if that will benefit me. I think it may very well be a draw. But I did give him a chance to undouble. We do have a nice pawn chain, but I think it will be some time before we can get there. And also we have to defend this. So maybe it's a tempo issue. We'll break through here. He has there, though. There, I guess I have there. And now he has to step back. And we'll come this way. There we enter there. There we enter there. There we go. It should be an easy win. It's a tempo issue, but we win. Oh wow, I didn't see that one. Okay, we'll come here. Come here, shouldering the king. And here, obviously, just wins. We will promote. And he's simply too slow to stop us. We'll come here and we'll take, and we'll take and take, and we'll come here and we'll pre-move the rest of the game just because I can. And even with a, okay, there we go. And we'll do a few more. I guess we'll do like 2 more. We'll go pawn e4, and we'll go pawn d4, and we'll go knight f3, immediately guarding this pawn, and he's going to immediately add pressure here. Now, taking here is usually not a good idea, but I'm going to take here because of an idea we have. And the idea we had was, okay, this is a blunder, so we'll have to bring the knight out. And he can technically take and take. Oh, wow. I actually blundered really badly. He could have taken, and if I took back, he's check, which only wins him a pawn, actually, which I thought it was a little bit worse, but, you know, I guess it's not that bad. We'll guard this pawn, and we will castle. Now, our development is a little bit better, and the reason I was a little bit worried about... Here, I guess, oh yes, checks and checks. Okay, he doesn't see it. We'll come back and we'll castle. And now there's no check tempo. So there's a lot of ways I can make progress here. I guess knight here is one of them. Or we can reroute the knight. I think a3 is also very, very good too. We'll bring the queen up and go rook d1. Of course, patience is key in chess. So just be very, very patient, and you can begin to slither your pieces out. Or you can even play here and like there and just begin. But of course, being patient pays off here because he's gonna be our first guest. So we can take, and if bishop takes, it gets a little bit interesting. What I will do is I will take, and there's definitely a lot of moves I could play here. I can also play here too, but I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna hit the queen. Almost said hit the bishop, but I don't know. And if he goes here, we have rook e1. We also have this nice sack, winning a free piece as well, and hitting the rook with the tempo. So he is already immediately in some trouble, and he's going to go there, which is pretty good. He's lining up his attack. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go rook e1. And now I'm threatening just to win a pawn and take here. Of course, you could take with the queen, which may present some issues as well. He will take, and he will take too. But if he does have this nice little fork, so I think he sees that because he's speculating, taking some time, and now we'll fork him, win the rook, and also fork checkmate as well. See how he's going to defend both of these threats. I simply don't think he can. I mean, he can give me a check, but that's all he can do. If he moves the rook, he gets checkmated, and this is the end of the game. Patience is key. Always be patient, and the lines will begin to open up. Okay, in the meantime, wait, okay, there we go. Let's study some biology. Okay, see if he made a move, and he's gonna resign, which is pretty funny. I mean, he already knew that he was lost because he saw the checkmate threat. Let's go pawn e4. He's gonna go for the Owens defense where he fianchettos his bishop. We can lock the bishop out, but I think it's a little bit more natural to play moves like that. Okay, I'm gonna assume that's a lost pawn for other reasons. But maybe bringing the bishop out wasn't too bad either. Maybe I should take and play c4. Immediately getting some central control. A bishop here, wedge this pawn, there, back. Very logical stuff. He's going to play here. Now, I think that's just a free pawn, but I may be missing something. Okay, he's going to give me a check. Now I see the intentions. There, takes there, but it doesn't work. Or maybe does it? Interesting. What I'm going to do is I'm going to move my king up. Usually not a very good move, but in this case, I mean, I don't want to lose a pawn, and I guess it's not too bad either. Don't really see any obvious tactics so far. And he's going to castle. Now we're immediately going to kick this bishop out so we can like slither our king over. Or we can castle like this way, which is also like not very good either. But we will castle manually. I think I'm going to go rook c1 first. And he's immediately going to put pressure here. And this is a very good move for first reasons. If I go here, he just takes here. And this pawn is undefended. Or this piece is undefended because this pawn is pinned. So we will go there immediately coming there. And he will immediately cut me off. Now I'm going to come here and try to trade off the bishops. Again, not very good position. I can even play here too, which seems very logical, cutting off everything. And rook d3 should win too. There, interesting. That's a move I did not foresee. I will take. Oh, I can't take either. I guess I have here. Here has bishop back. Bishop back. It gets into a little bit of trouble. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come here first. And I'm going to trade these pieces off. A little bit unfortunate that we lose a pawn, but I mean, I think it's necessary in order to stop the attack. Now, I was thinking about not taking. Okay, so he's going to come there. I guess you have down. And I guess we can begin to mobilize our forces and just begin to push our pawns down the board. That doesn't really threaten much except the pawn. But if I lift, things get bad as well. We can defend it this way, which I think is logical. Maybe bishop back, maybe rook b1. Rook b1, rook f1 seems very strong too. Let's go rook f1. Hitting the queen. There's probably the best move. Will he see it? I'm not too sure, but there I have there, which gets very dangerous. There we go. Now we're threatening here. If he pulls back, we can trade. He has pawn push. And then what do I have after pawn push? That's a little bit interesting. He's going to defend that way, which is honestly pretty solid. I guess we have here too. We will take. And I'm going to take with my rook here in order to keep this attack. Maybe add a third rook into the position. Of course, it's still not very clear how I'll win this. We will take. And if queen takes, we will just take. I do not want the queen to infiltrate, so we will take. And I'm a little bit scared of here, so what I will do is I will play here, immediately threatening here, and just simply moving out of the way if any checks occur. I can also block too, but I'm a little bit worried about him staying on this line, and he will take. And now there's no more check, and we can begin to rush our pawns down the board. Now, I know he is a little bit, or very, very scared of this pawn. That's a free pawn too, right? Am I missing something? There we go. I just come back. And there is no skewer. I'll walk my king up the board, and his king is completely cut off. There is not a good move. We're going to come this way. He can give me a check. I guess I'll slide back. But I think this is just completely lost. And if I come here, it's just completely lost. So yeah, that was a move too. But I want to keep his king cut off because it's going to be very hard for him to make progress. So I guess we'll have to make do with the other side of the board. There was also a very bad move because we have here. Defending, and we will simply, we have there too. That's, gosh, did I make a mistake already? There he is there. But I have there. Okay, fine. It works. We will come up, and he will likely come closer, and that should just win the game. Does he have here, though? No. Okay, great. And we are just going to win. Did expect that. But I just have here and there. Come closer, I come closer to his rook. Though I guess he can sack, right? Yeah, I guess. Okay, I'm going to pull the rook back, hit this pawn. Forward I have here. But he sacks. Interesting. We will simply reroute, maybe there and there. Very logical. And there's just simply no progress to be made. I'm going to come there, I'm going to come here. He's going to take, and he's going to take, and now we will begin to make real progress here. Of course, it took some time for me to think about the potential. I mean, his king is cut off. There's just nothing there. He will sack his piece here. I'm going to take with, okay, there we go. I'm going to take with the king here in order to keep his king cut off, but this should be a pretty easy win after take. Oh, uh-oh. There we go. All right, Simply too slow. Wait, is he fast enough? There we go. 7 seconds though. We gotta make do. All right, we'll try to flag him actually, which should be fine. There we go. Let's do one more just to lock in the theory. We gained like 50 elo so far, but of course this is pretty easy stuff. We'll come here beginning to control the center. We'll come here, of course, defend it. Now he's going to stop his bishop from coming out, which I think is a questionable move. But maybe these are still book moves, which are essentially moves that do not lose any advantage. We're going to castle very early. And we can bring the bishop out, and that seems very good. He's immediately going to start threatening this pawn, which honestly is a little bit weak. I'm just simply going to rook lift and play rook d8. And this is, I forgot what it's called. Maybe I think it was called the elephant or something like that. But in this variation, there is just simply like a lack of like central control. We'll take here. If not, I guess we have here too. Both of which open up the position quite well. Wait, hold on. Wait. Oh, wow. I forgot that he could play that. All right, we'll slither out. I think it was a little bit more... Okay, we'll take here, actually, too. What did he play? Did he play... Oh, okay. Interesting. All right, so we can take... I think that's fine. It is going to be a little bit difficult to open up the position. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to play a knight. Knight just walks into a fork. I think we're going to play here, trying to open up this way, maybe consolidate the pawn structure. This seems pretty logical. We have here as well. Yeah, I knew it would be met with that. And what we're going to do is we're going to slide the rook out of the way so that the knight can reroute onto some crucial squares. Of course, the closed structure here makes it very easy to do so, and we don't have much to worry about. And he's going to manually castle his king. Oh, wow. Okay, very interesting. And we'll take. I think it will damage his pawn structure quite a bit. And this is just a free pawn, isn't it? It takes and takes. Maybe it's not. But now it will be a free pawn, unless he has like there. Does he have there? There. Okay, now I'm just going to win a free pawn, which is not good. We're going to take with our knight. And if takes, we're going to take rook here, hit the queen. And now we recapture. And this pawn was extremely important. After this one falls, I mean, I'm just going to take here too. There's simply no way to hold the position together. I'm just going to rush my pawns down the board. And you are trading when you're losing very, very badly. This pawn is going to fall. That pawn is going to fall. Which one are you going to save? I guess you could save both with here. And he's going to capture here. Now, I don't know what that move was. I think I'm going to take here. There. That pawn is still hanging. That pawn is still hanging. And now with the queen gone, there's no way to defend both. I guess that works too, but I'll take and we'll come here. And this should be a very, very bad position. A very, very hard one to win at that. So let's be sure not to lose to any back rank checkmates. But actually, let's do one more after this. But this should be pretty easy to win as well. We could play pawn h6. We could play even rook a6, which is a little bit like passive, but I think it could still win as well. And he's going to come closer. Now we can make a lift for our king and play there. And with there, I mean, I don't really see like how to win necessarily really quickly. He's going to play there. Do I have here? Actually, I think here is a little bit more accurate. And he's going to run his king that way. Do I have push? Takes? No, I don't. Hit the pawn. He has rook c8. Let's hit this. Let's hit this pawn. And if pushes, we have there winning the other pawn. And the way the pieces support each other is very, very nice. We'll come here. Maybe it was more accurate to play rook h5. I'm not too sure. And we'll simply take. And if trade occurs, then we'll simply just win as well. We'll take, and it's very likely that he will play there. And although, like, okay, this should be the final blow. He give me a check, but that's the only check he can give. Actually, there was no check there either way. And that should be the end of the game. We can also come back here. It checks. Rook blocks, we just take. If there, do I have there? I do have there. I could check. His only move is to take, and we will promote. With a discovered check, actually. And we have there. Checkmate, and we'll do one more. So he's just going to resign right away. He knows he's completely lost there. But, like, I mean, he couldn't try at least. I mean, whatever. All right, let's go for the Scandinavian. Maybe, actually, let's go for the Sicilian here, which is a little bit, I would argue, a little bit more defensive and probably a little bit better. for playing like close positions. We'll simply bring this out, and that should be a very good move. We could also hit this pawn, but queen comes up. If the queen comes up, we will just take and play here. And he plays there, which is also a great move, actually. We will take. And now we'll play here. And this is a triple-like move. Well, not triple in a necessary sense, but it essentially attacks here, here, and also keeps the checkmate threat down as well. We'll take here and double up his pawns. And again, this bishop is highly inactive. We'll hit this pawn and we'll castle very, very shortly. Oh, that was a move I was not expecting. We will take and we'll threaten to win this pawn, and he's going to defend it that way, which is a move that I did not foresee, actually. Interesting. There's simply no way to defend this pawn either, since there's already 2 attackers on it and no defenders. I can take with the pawn. We could take with a rook or queen. And if he takes here, I will take here, which is a very, very nice defense. And we can pull the queen back. We can pull the knight back. But I played this move in retrospect, thinking that it would guard this pawn. But I think I'm still going to lose it anyways. And it might be even worse. So he's going to come back here. I don't know how to win. I guess I have here. Seems very logical, hitting this pawn. He's going to defend. Do I have here? Maybe. But maybe I should lift the pawn first. How do I win here? I'll lift the pawn. I don't really see it. I mean, if there, we have there. So it should be fine at least. We can also trade off pieces. Maybe rook b8. Rook b8 seems logical. I almost thought this was hanging, but it's not. And it's a little bit difficult to break into this position once more. How do we do this? I mean, this is hard. We have there and there, maybe? But there the other knight can move. So maybe it's time to start pushing these pawns up the board. And the knight simply has no good jump squares. I will just take them all. Yeah, I don't understand that. We'll take, and we're threatening to take here. We're threatening to take here. I think he has there, though. Here we go. Defending here, threatening here. We're threatening here. Rook just takes the rook, and takes the queen, maybe? So I'm going to be up a pawn, a rook, and a queen, and they will simply be up a knight, a rook, and a queen, which is definitely a lot worse. Do I take here? Let's add a third attacker to this file. Definitely a hard choice, but now we are threatening 3 pieces at once, and I simply don't think there's enough. I mean, he can play here, right? Here it takes. Interesting. Gonna blunder a piece, right? Okay, have to analyze the positions before making them, but I mean, I could just take. Hitting the queen. If it takes, then we take with check. If not, then I guess we have rook c8 as well, which are both winning, honestly. Rook c8 takes. That's a move I did not think about. Do I have there? There, if queen takes, check. Nope, doesn't work. What about just back? Back, it gets taken. What about here? And now we're threatening here, and we're also threatening this rook. And he's going to come here. Actually, that's a move I did not see. But we just have there, and there are no checks. Hits the queen, hits not checkmate, but very, very close. Very scary as well. I think I am almost on the verge of losing. But I don't know who's winning here, actually. This is a very difficult position to tell. I think I'm winning. I just have so many pieces on the attack, but it's a little bit difficult to. Okay, so he's going to go there. I guess attacking the rook, but can't I just take here? Takes, and my knight still guards this square. And I think that's a mistake. After takes, he can even pin his rook, which should end the attack as well. A lot of options. Let's pin the rook, and let's take and take. There are also no checks, and we'll begin to run his king out. I think this was a little bit more accurate, actually. I guess we have check. There, check. Ooh, he's gonna... I think he has to give up the queen here. Oh, he has that, right? Let's play here. Oh, wait, let's play here and play here. Back, checks, back. I could also just run out as well. Okay, there we go. Let's win the knight. He's gonna give me a check. We have back. Back. I guess we can make our way across. I mean, none of his pieces are threats. There we go. And we're going to lose on time. I guess that's it. So, just.